Good morning, FYI family. A very good morning. It's a late morning at our end, and for that we apologize. But a very good morning to each and every one of you. We almost didn't have a program, but we couldn't do you guys like that because we know how much you look forward to our broadcast. We got a couple things we're going to shoot at you guys fast and furious. A very good morning to each and every one of you. It's Tuesday, the 4th day of February. Checking my calendar to confirm. Tuesday the 4th. Good to have all of you on the live this morning. Share the broadcast if you can. Smash that emoji button too. It's another day of the sitting of the National Assembly. You know, we're in the period where we're considering, interrogating, debating, questioning the estimates that the PPPC government has brought as it enters into its fifth year. Its fifth year of squandermania. Oh, you can hear the billions he's spending. The billions they want. Trillions spent. And now they come asking for some additional billions. Billions with a capital bill. A lot of money. And you've heard us articulate already. It used to be that it was a couple billions, you know. Now it's hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars. And they're spending this money without concern. You know why? They didn't earn it. Morning, Toby. Good morning, Cheryl. Cheryl-Ann Haywood. Ingrid Crawford. They didn't earn it. When they came in, it was there. The legislation was in place. At least the framework. This is the Natural Resource Fund Act. The framework was there. And so the thing was set to start rolling in. Look at the plans that were there, and it was much easier for them to implement them when we took over from them, having to clean up all the mess that there was. Good morning to fellow members of the National Assembly across the political aisle, except folks like Kwame. Except folks like Joe Hamilton. Except folks like Fazal Jafar Ali. Left with a couple of them. But across the political aisle, except Vindhya Prasad, left you. And Sonia Parag, we can leave out Sonia. You know. Should we keep in prayer there in that good morning? Julie G said it. She said, vote them out. Vote them out. Jilly G says it all. Out, out, out. 1, 2, 3, out you go. Good morning, folks. I'm so happy you all are here with us. Andrew said it. Respect and manners. Respect and manners. Folks, things are happening fast and furious. I told you, folks, in this business of politics, one day you're the spider, next day you're the fly. Don't get tied up, you know. When you hear Ashley talk nonsense, oh, the opposition, they're going to be confined to those benches for all eternity. All eternity. You know, I am certain that when Sherwin Greaves, former CEO of Central Housing and Planning, when he heard that, he probably said, I hear for a long time. When he heard that, he said, well, I sit down here. I can be here for a little while. But folks, remember I said this. In this business, in this political business, one day you're the spider, next day you're the fly. Trump didn't remember when he was out, you know. And he will be out shortly. The 4 years going to run out. If he try to change the constitution, get the constitution changed. People don't remember pre-2020, you don't know. They don't remember 2015. No. We invent government. We can be here for all eternity. Raquel Bellamona, Rihanna Mingo will be here for all eternity. They don't remember pre-2015. Yes, I'm a beige jacket this morning. Is it beige? What do y'all call it? Call it. Dolly, Leslin, good to have all of you on the live this morning. Great folks. Good to have all of you. We got a couple of things to talk. Let's get into it. I hear Shilly Shalin. You know. If you got your tears, prepare to shed them. That's a line, I think, from Julius Caesar, if I remember. You all think I jump, you know, like Charles Ramson. You all know I used to teach literature. We used to say lit for short. Thought literature. You know. Shakespeare works for my expertise. You got your tears, prepare to shed them. Look at this one. I saw one headline that summed up all that is to come over the last 48, 72 hours. Fast and furious, folks. That's how it keeps coming. Fast and furious. And we will see perhaps more headlines like this, regretfully. You know, car slams into bridge. And what's not? Father, help us, yeah? Father, help us. We got so much to contend with. So this is one of the headlines we're looking at this morning. That headline that you're seeing there. Car slams into bridge. 2 killed. This happened, they tell us, on Sunday. Right? Friends and family, 4 young men. Just this past weekend, you know, met their demise. Horrific, very horrific form. Very, very horrific form. You got. Let me give you it in steps. All right. Let me give it in steps. So this is what happened. They tell us. I gotta really pace myself here now. You know, when you're doing these headlines every morning, they get to you, right? So look at this. We have this one here. 2 killed as car slams into bridge. You got this one here. Biker dies, brother injured in the Namsel accident. You got this one here. Motorcyclist dies in quarantine accident. And then some other stuff happening. Haslington DJ electrocuted by microphone. This one is tremendously sad because when you get into the details of this one, they tell you how this young man was rushed to the hospital and then his friends abandoned him. His friends abandoned him. Don't get sick, you know. Don't take him. Don't get sick. Don't fall in hard times. Then you really know who for you and who against you. I want to hear stuff happen. Like, I want dwell too long on them. I won't dwell too long on them. But Shuri Singh lost control of a black-field wagon, slammed head-on into a truck traveling in the opposite direction. This is at Tumiri over the weekend. Sad state of affairs. Very sad state of affairs. That's one of the accidents. And then the list goes on and on and on as we articulate to them. Let's be careful on the roadways, folks. You know, it's only so much the authorities can do, and then at some part of it, we have to take ownership of our actions, like slowing down, for instance. Back in the day, we had a word called skilly dingy. You remember that? You think you're skilly dingy, whoever skilly dingy was or is, fiction or fact. Slow down, slow down, slow down and arrive alive. Don't you see me sometimes like driving Miss Daisy? $1 for $1. $1 for $1. Thoughts and prayers with all the families, though. Thoughts and prayers with all of the families. And then look, when you think this is the end, good book says the beginning of sorrows. Right? Logan, Frank, Don, Marlon, Kurt. When you think is the end, Amita, Yolanda, beginning of sorrows. Now this is interesting because the government will tell you, oh, we're creating all these jobs for who? For who? So we read this report that truck drivers are crying out because foreign companies, foreign truck drivers going with the action. Going with all the action, so who benefiting? Who benefiting? That's what you want to know. This particular report is carried by Kaiser News, stating that truck drivers have complained or are complaining bitterly. Underscore that, bold, red letters, bitterly, because they've been sidelined by a foreign company operating a quarry at Arusaro Mountain Region 10. Foreign company, their trucks, their drivers. The local truck drivers say they ply their trade, lifting aggregate from the quarry to their employers or clients. And they get paid per trip. They claim that in the past, they were able to make multiple trips per day, but recently, they have been sidelined by a Chinese-owned quarry in favor of Chinese-owned truck drivers, driven by Chinese nationals. Trucks driven by Chinese nationals. So you see and it's not to say, you see, in this case, we don't have local truck drivers. So when they come and telling you, oh, they create all these jobs, Kurt, Marlin, Logan, Leon Logan, Don, Sudhari, we create all these jobs for who? It is the question, for who? And we've been saying in this particular instance, where truck drivers, for instance, are concerned, we haven't exhausted our capacity to supply the market with truck drivers. So why are you bringing in? Maybe because you can pay foreign labor next to nothing. You see, when there's an oversupply, the price for the labor can come down. How a song there? Economics 101? You get a surplus, the price is going pop. Janet, Gwyneth, Neon, Drida, how a song the girl? You listening? You on? Or invented Gwyneth Anderson. Whoever out there know a little economics, how a song there? Folks, you all smash that emoji button for us. Please, I'm seeing hundreds of you on the broadcast. Now they go out here looking thin. So that's happening. But these aren't things you'd hear raised at the Corner Shop show on Thursday. These are not matters raised. I saw also Kaiser News reporting this morning. You remember Milo Falls? How come they haven't, they always like to say, the opposition wrongly, falsely, fraudulently, the opposition killed the Milo Falls project. But you all had 4 years in. Why didn't you unkill it? Why didn't you resurrect it? They knew this project here was just to give friends and family money. It was going to ultimately fail. And now, Kaicho News says there's an admission. Climate change going to pose a problem to the project. Climate change. I saw photographs over the years. The falls dry up. I think inherent in the word hydro is water. Somewhere in there, inherent. So you need the water of the fall to push the turbines and move things forward. Inherent. But them boys haven't pursued this project with any vigor because they know climate change, friends, family, and favorites. And look, didn't I tell you all, good folks, Terrell and Nigel, Diane and Gwyneth, Devon, Louisa, in this business, one day you're the scorpion, next day you're the toad. Who knows? Things happen fast. Things happen fast. I saw between the Lines for Change leader Nigel Hughes and businessman Terence Campbell, this information began circulating. Allegedly, the CEO of Housing, the CEO of Central Housing and Planning Authority, Sherwin Greaves, allegedly underscored in bold, had purchased a house in the US of A for over $750,000 US. Somebody said nice time. For over $750,000. And their contention was that this transaction had not followed the legal procedure. That's what they've said. And then who they bought the house from is somebody who just got a lot of land locally. A lot of land. And so there is the notion, there is the allegation on the score. Them boys like Says and so on, they're listening, you know. Somebody ain't gonna file something. They want work, so they listening. Look, Sherwin, look, the slandering you there. You want me to send something to them on your behalf? You want to institute some litigation? And so last night, we got information that the CEO had resigned with immediate effect. Immediate effect. While I think Starbuck News is standing by. Starbuck News reached out to him based on their reporting, and they are awaiting some information. Brothers and sisters, Stephanie, Devon, Sharon, Patricia Sano, good having you live this morning. Savage, Tish. You all remember and remind the PPP. One day you're the spider. Next day you're the fly. I heard some folks I saw and read some folks on Facebook castigating Sherwin Greaves, chastising. So long my plan at your desk. Get out, beat out, wash out, roll out, flick out. So long my things waiting. Folks, This thing is hurtful. Lettel and Marlin, it is hurtful to the extent you can't even get a little 0.5 of an acre. And you got men could come and get 30 acres. Now one time, then just go down for one time. Not 2 times. Then just go down for 2 times. Not 3 times. They go down and they go down and they go down and they go down. People could get scores, hundreds of acres of land. Who come yesterday, you know? Because you got a little US in your pocket. You don't have, you got a 10,000 US. You got a 10 million US dollars to throw down. No. I was listening to that Travis Chase interview with the goodly doctor. Goodly Dr. Baldio. My God. Corruption rife. Corruption, Dora. Plenty enough in this country currently. So Grieve walks, gone to his big house up north. Some of y'all might be his neighbor. Some of y'all are probably his neighbors. You know? Probably his neighbors. And let me stick this one in here as we on land. Yesterday we learned that unlike the Granger administration, are of an alien devolving no power. Sorry. Or of an alien devolving no power to the Lands and Surveys Commission. Learned this during the sitting of the National Assembly yesterday. I don't know how they call us. Oh, we power hungry. APNU AFC. If a man takes authority and he says, look, this is madness. You hold some of this and do that. You hold some of this and you do that. I think in law that's called delegated authority. Delegated. See, Granger said, I have this power. I have this discretion how to dispose of, how to use state lands. But I want to give this power to you to help me to discharge this function that I have. That's a man hungry for power. Under the Granger's administration, the brigadier says, look, these constitutional agencies, they know what their budgetary needs are. And for instance, like the judiciary, to guarantee their independence, they must sit down and come up with their own budgets. We mustn't have an input. But that's a man that's like hungry to hold on to power. And the man said, let the judicial service, the judiciary, and other constitutional bodies, they must be able to formulate their own budgets and not be held at ransom by a central government to do its dictates. Those are people that are hungry to hold on to power. Or the people who are hungry to hold on to power are the people who come in and reverse all of that. They say, no, Ashton got to do it. Right? No, Chief Justice, you don't do this. This Ashton Road. Granger said, let Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission deal with state land. I'm going to divest myself of this power. Delegate this authority for them to do this. And he gave it to them. Not here fun. Irfan coming, and we learned yesterday that Irfan is the one who's been not only giving out leases for state land, but titles, thousands of acres of state land. We're advised. Thousands of acres of state land. Folks, who got money? You see? Got bargain. I know how else to put it. Who got money, got bargain. On the highway. The land there on the Linden Soosdijk Highway, that's state land. When last you take a drive up there to see what they're doing with the highway? Now people who just had leases, if you talk the right talk, your lease could be converted to title. The title. I think it was MP Twitter Finance who posed the question yesterday. Take a listen. Take a listen.
Thank you, sir. In the absence, could the Honorable Minister say through you, sir, in the absence of the board, how are decisions going through, for example, on the Linden Soosdijk Highway? We know that they have been leaseholders for years, and of recent we saw business individuals being given titles where they were leased before. How is that being done in the absence of a board?
I think we have to go back to the State Lands Act, which is also the same act that is used in regards to Amerindian land titling, and that the ultimate decider on that, because it's state lands, is the president as the head. All state land comes under the president and the cabinet. So cabinet makes decisions on the allocations, if there's a new housing scheme being opened, for example, and the release of lands for those purposes has to have cabinet approval. In the case of the Soosdijk people, those issues of regularizing those lands and assigning them are done through the technical areas of the Lands and Surveys Commission, but go to cabinet and or directly to the minister in charge by law, who is the president.
So the minister in charge by law, okay? The minister in charge by law is the president of state lands. And he has not devolved that function to central housing, not central housing, Ghana Lands and Surveys, as was the case of the last administration. And in addition to that, folks, in addition to that, Ghana Lands and Surveys does not have a board currently. 4 years into the new administration, this is what happens when you don't want accountability, you don't want oversight, you don't want scrutiny. You can preach it. You can preach we are for good governance and all the other things. Marlon, they can preach it. Anthony Paris, Marlon Seaford, Eula Lafferman Rubens, they can preach it. Marcy Agard. They can talk a good talk. But you see the walk? No way, Jose. No way. Jose. No way. No way. Former REO for the PPP rather. Region 6. He said this is the worst corruption in history by the PPP. This morning, Sky Joe News. Worst corruption by the PPP. I'm telling you what Ramaya says. They said easy. Coordinator for the Region 6 Rapid Response Task Force, Dr. Versami Ramaya, tendered his resignation to the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development. With immediate effect from the end of last month, or rather the end of this month, with immediate effect, right? He said he was dissatisfied with the way in which things are and that his principles would not be compromised. Mind you, he resigned as RU under them. Now, as the coordinator for the Region 6 Rapid Response Task Force, he resigned again. If this man seeing this thing from all angles, Versami Ramaya, he's seeing it from all angles. And Versami says that corruption, listen to this, corruption is at its worst in the history of the People's Progressive Party government. This is according to Kaicho News. It is at its worst. And he resigned. He said, I can't take it no more. Region 6. But this won't come up for discussion on Thursday. Of course, lots of the media houses kiss the ring. Right? Lots of the media houses, they're not going to go against the grain. They're not going to do no investigative journalism. They would never reach out to Dr. Versami Ramaya. You'd never see that in the room with the news, Chronicle, DPI. No, you're not going to see it there. Worst in the history of the PPP, Ramaya says. That's where corruption is at. He resigned. He resigned like Sherwin Greaves. That quality of resignation. He said, on my principles, you're not compromising me. On my principles, bow out. Bow out. And then if you look at some of the letters in today's press, biometrics, they arguing it needs legislative reform. And if we have the political will, folks, that's what's lacking. GCOM, right? On the advice of the government, in touching, them boys want to go back. Then people got to vote. Why would you touch it? But you can talk a good talk. You're going to talk a good talk of accountability and good governance. But the thing to get you there, you don't want to do that. So let's keep paying lip service to it. Platitudes. Let us keep in that direction. If we have the political will in this country, we could reform, overhaul, and really and truly set this country on a path that could make us the envy of the Caribbean region. We could be a lamp set on a hill. We got to do it together. Together we got to do it. So that's one of the things you're watching. Another letter we see in the press. Vishnu Bisram, he says a tough time for third parties. I disagree with some of his reasoning. Now he's a Poles man. You know, one day he said PP winning, next day Apnu AFC winning. He says a tough time for third parties in 2025 elections. Tough time. You know. It just means smaller party gotta work that much harder. Nobody enrolling, nobody say pass, you know. Ladies first. It's not a kind of game. This thing will be brutal. Down to the wire, and the closer you get to the wire, the more intense and brutal it's gonna get. Cancer didn't warn you. Cancer did not warn you. And we did start with, make a segue just now and touching some things that came out of the National Assembly. Look at this one. This airstrip, the Perima airstrip, they said it was completed and handed over. Completed and handed over. Not a ceremony too, you know. Drinks got to drink. Bottles got to knock. Right. Them boys had a whole ceremony. Handing over ceremony for the Perima airstrip. You want to see corruption? Now they're telling us it is closed indefinitely for repairs. 6 months ago, this airstrip, the Perima airstrip, was handed over. And now it's closed for repairs. Kitty Abrams, what do you call her? Melissa April, Andrew Griffith, Don, Dougie, what do y'all call that? Opened a few short months ago. A few short months ago. And now it's closed for repairs. Closed for repairs. And mind you, millions upon millions of dollars was spent to bring it to where it is currently. And not arguing with the quality of the work. I tell you what I put on paper. Millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And now it's closed for repairs. Nigel, Bumi says is robbery without arms. True words have not been spoken. Robbery without arms. Alright, Benjik, what you call it, alright? Agree, you must got some words to this. I know you're technologically savvy. You must get a few words for this. Agree, Frank, Dan Gravesatney, done close. These projects got a 1 month, 2 months lifespan. And then they start over. How else money gonna flow in the oil economy? The fastest growing economy in the world, high income country, largest per capita GDP. There's some money got for Mac. Money have he Mac. Sheila Boychan. And then you come to the mysterious Ministry of Works, 12-story building, 4-tower building, buildings, whatever it is. The mysterious. I like how Member of Parliament and Ferguson put it. The Ministry of Work is progressing. When you go there, you see a mountain of stones. And you know it's not the stones in the project because they got trucks coming and fetching the stone out. All you see is aggregate. All you see is aggregate. The minister said the project is moving slowly. And they have already expended billions on this project. They're building a new office facility to house the Ministry of Public Works. You know, to house the project department, the trucks, and big expanse just off Heroes Highway. Just off Heroes Highway. But don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Listen to some of it from the National Assembly. We're going to the horse's mouth. Straight to the horse's mouth. The controversial 12-story building or buildings. The mysterious 12-story building. Take a look. Take a listen.
Mr. Chair, to the honorable member, I recognize that the Ministry is requesting a sum of 1,086 million, sir. Mr. Chair, when I went to the project file, I recognize this sum will cater for 2 buildings. And you know, one is very dear to my heart. That's the 12-story complex that I'm still looking for, but I'll get to that in a short while. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, I recognize also that the sum will cater for the upgrade of the facility at Caldergen on the east coast of Demerara. So my first question to the honorable member is for him to provide a disaggregation of what will go for this 12-story mysterious building and what will go for the upgrade facility at Caldergen. That's my first question, Mr. Chair, to the honorable member.
Mr. Minister.
It's a simple disaggregation, so it's not going to take long. The $86 million will be used at Caldergen to develop a base, what you call it, a heavy equipment base. It's not just concrete, but putting in a heavy equipment base so that the machines and so on could comfortably rest there. And the $1 billion is for the continuation of works, both in terms of supervision and construction at the new office complex.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Ferguson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Member. Mr. Chair, this $1 billion that is being requested for this mysterious 12-story building will now give us a total figure of $8.6 billion from 2022 to 2025. But Mr. Chair, I have news for the honorable member, because I visited, and this is what I'm seeing, or I've seen on the location. Trucks mooring in to load up with aggregates and stone. This is what is happening on the site. This is what is happening. This photo was taken, I think, on the 17th of January 2025, just before the budget was presented. Mr. Chair, I am concerned because the honorable member, when I run out, the honorable member just run out behind me to give updates. And you would recall, I recognize on January 2nd, 2025, the bishop, the very goodly man, I'm sorry you're in this hot seat, boy, but you got to take the blows and come clean. So, Mr. Chair, I recognize my boy went to the location, and I don't know where he was, on what he was pointing at. Right? So this is my boy, January 2nd. And this is what the honorable member had to say at his site visit. By the end of January, I guess he's referring to 2025, you will be seeing much more work being done on site. While not fully satisfied, I am pleased we are getting ahead and we are able to cross some of the hurdles and we are getting this done quickly. Now, my question to the honorable member, Mr. Chair, can you provide to this National Assembly a status report on where we are with regards to this 12-story mysterious build office complex that I am looking for? Mr. Chair, may I also say, as I'm on my feet, breakdown going up after. Breakdown police station, still up in the air already. King's Jewelry World, hotel gone up already. Aiden by Western at Rob and Ornock Street, up already. They're finished. I don't know what is happening to this 12-story complex. So can the honorable member provide an update and let us know how the 7.6 billion spent today and what is 1 billion will take care of. Thank you very much.
Yep, you heard it there, folks. The mysterious 12-story. The mysterious 12-story building. Can't find it. 3 years, $9 billion. You can't locate it. You can't go and see a steel up in the air like King's Plaza. Aden by Best Western. Finish. Started after. Completed. Robin Arnock Street. And you can't find this 12-story, 9 billion later. And every sitting, they come back for a little money. You want $1 billion, he wants more. $1 billion, he wants more for the black hole. $1 billion. I kid you not, folks. That is billion with a capital bill. $1 billion. That's what you're asking for. 1 billion. Yesterday, Annette had some additional questions. Because now the First Lady's office is being funded more than the Leader of the Opposition office. And the Leader of the Opposition has a constitutional office. And the First Lady is being given more money. The First Lady is being given more money. I'm happy when Annette is on these issues. She has a unique way of getting their attention on these issues. First Lady getting more. Island pumping. First Lady gotta look nice.
Over time, this Committee of Supply has been approving sums to this very office. And like other constitutional agencies, though this is not a constitutional body, we're not getting reports as to the activities with regards to the office of the First Lady. So I would really love to know what this $31.2 million will be utilized for the year 2025. Thank you very much.
Honourable Minister.
First of all, there is no requirement by statute for her to submit any report to the House. So that's number one. So the statutes covering the First Lady or the spouse of the President and her benefits do not require an annual report to the House, number one. She's covered by the Auditor General. Why don't you listen? Why don't you listen? The Auditor General then would do a survey, an audit of all the taxpayers' money being used under the Office of the President, including the First Lady. The budget for the First Lady actually is probably around $61 million, but she gets from the government in 2024, she got 31, right, and now she's getting 31 million according to this. So that the rest is raised by fundraising and fundraising activities she has, as well as project funds from donors, etc. When she works with civil society. She works with civil society.
So if the First Lady's budget, is actually 61 million, how much is the actual budget of the Leader of the Opposition? Huh? By the same token, I'm certain it's about 161. But now he's getting less than the First Lady. And they say that's good governance. You see? That's good governance. Yeah. Fastest growing economy in the world. And though the budget has increased by hundreds of billions of dollars, the Leader of the Opposition budget has not increased for 2025. Yeah. It has not increased. Right. You all remember the Bellevue pump station? 800 and how much? $1 million. But 2 years running. This is like the mysterious bill. This is a mysterious pump station. 10% complete. 10% complete. This is nice time government, you know. It's not who you know alone, it's who know you. The pump station is 10% complete. If you go there now, you won't find a piece of equipment. And the company has gotten additional contracts since then. additional contracts since then. And 2 years later, the Bellevue pump station is still incomplete. Y'all see nice time? So when Ramaya talks about corruption, how are we going to vex with him? Desrian, Avril, Marville, how are we going to upset with him, Naomi? This is nice time. You get an 800, not $1,000 million contract. It takes you 2 years, 3 years to do 10%. And there are no penalties. It says, more nice time. More nice time. It's interesting. As we wrap up, folks. As we wrap up. Yesterday, I know lots of you see y'all shouldn't even go into Parliament. You all shouldn't even go into Parliament with these people. But it's only in scrutinizing the spending in this way or the proposed spending in this way, you uncover some of these things. Enter stage left. Enter stage left. The Ethnic Relations Commission. Let's show you a nice time. Enter stage left, the Ethnic Relations Commission, folks. The Ethnic Relations Commission, the authorities there, took it upon themselves to raise the salary of 12 staff members. 12 staff members. They took it upon themselves. This was done at the end of 2023. And the Minister of Governance will have us believe they only discovered it November last year, the end of 2024. But what is more obscene that members of the Ethnic Relations Commission would raise their salaries unilaterally. Who's sharing the live this morning? You see, we get this information, we just come and we listen. It's important that we share it so that others can get it as well. You all helped me this morning. I got close to 1,200 of you watching us between Facebook and YouTube. 400 plus on Facebook. 700 plus on YouTube. Could you all indulge me to smash that emoji button if you can? Please and thank you. Share the live if you can. Unilaterally, Stephanie? Audrey Milo? I know a good question to come from that would be, what was done? If we didn't go to the National Assembly, it would come out so easily. 12 of them, their salaries were unilaterally increased. And listen to this. Listen to this. Desiree, Roxanne, Marville, Nyan, Marcia, Diane. You all remember how much public servant salaries were increased by last year? You all remember that? Let me see if you all been doing your homework. Let me see if you all drink a ginkgo biloba. You all remember? We're wrapping up. This is the last thing we're talking, then curtains down. You all remember the last thing we discussed? The last pay increase, rather. You all remember? Who would we? Give me a figure, percentage. Last year, they said this year is X percent. Next year, they already set it for next year, so y'all won't be surprised and revolt and riot and so on. Right? Michelle says the special 12. You all remember? I'm waiting to see a number. You remember what percentage of increased public servant salary had? I'm looking for it. Sandra said the coffee cold, but I know it's true. The coffee cold, but I hate to waste anything. I ain't gonna plug in the little microwave, please. Dual microwave, short circuit, the whole thing, and then we blackout. All right. So I got Andrew, I got Marlene, 10%. Cecile said 10%. Right? I think you're right with 10. Because it was 10 last year, 8 this year, and then I think they're doing 10 or 9 next year. You all see what they did even with that? They tell you up front. So when you hear the budget and you hear 8%, in 2025 when oil pumping, you invest. So they give you all 3 last year. Right? So you don't vex with all your vex. And you're not expecting nothing. But back to the ERC. Back to the ERC. Folks, y'all sit down. I drink this little coffee. Back to the ERC. Let's drink some more coffee. Folks, the ERC and the Special 12. The ERC and the Special 12 raised their salaries in excess. This is 2023. You will hear Gail say it's 2023. They uncovered last year, November 2024. This Special 12 Tyrrell, Diane, Vanessa, Pamela, Raquel, this Special 12 increased their salaries were increased by over 25%. By over 25. Oh, Father, by over 25%. That's how nice time is nice time. Don't take me word for it. I might be a rabble rouser for the opposition, a loud mouth. What have you? But that's me. You know what? They are corrupt. That is what they are, corrupt. This Special 12.
The Commission on its own decided to increase salaries for 12 people, which were way beyond a 10%, 8%, and further up than 10%. So 12 people's salaries were increased to very large amounts. And therefore, the discussion that was held between the government and the ERC is that those 12 should be red circled, as in the previous, when we used to do that, because their salaries were way beyond, a number of them were way beyond what would be even a 25% increase. And so that is why they were not paid the 10% for 2024. It is something that we have to keep reviewing, but it was unknown to the government and it was discovered late last year, November, but it had been put into place in December 2023.
So, may I follow up, sir? Do commissions have the authority to unilaterally increase the employee's salary without the approval of the government and an order from cabinet?
No, you're absolutely correct. They do not have the authority. As with the ruling of Hernandez, Justice Hernandez, that the constitutional bodies are subject to review under the financial and procurement laws, etc., and by Parliament. And therefore, this decision was unfortunately unauthorized. We are trying to rectify it now, because the staff is there and there's staff that are important and need to be kept. But at the same time, all the commissions, all the constitutional bodies, if they want increases in salaries or allowances and stuff, they have to request. It goes through the Ministry of Finance, and I also review them because I have to answer for the constitutional bodies, and we try to handle those on a case-by-case basis. But it cannot be done just unilaterally.
My God. And you know what's interesting? You know what is interesting? It was unauthorized. It was illegally done. And it was just red circled. It was just red circled. You take a pen, a Reddick, and you put a circle. And you say, all right, we can come back to this later. It was not rescinded immediately on discovery. It was not revoked. In the name of good governance and decency, the Ethnic Relations Commission that come in to monitor election to say who fair and who unfair, those 25% increased salaries were just red circled. Were just red circled. And they will have observers at the election, you know, seeing whether you what do you call it? Incite racial hostility and all of that. And it was just red circle. It wasn't challenged, revoked, rescinded, declared null and void. The law says it's wrong. The law said to red circle it. But the government said, we just red circle. Pamela said bribery. I didn't say it. But we beg. You know? We beg. Just red circle. Folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. That's going to do it for us. The special 12 at the ERC, 25%. And they went and stand up in the sun for 60 something days. 25%. And she said it is above. She says 25. She said it is above what would even be 25%. So it could be 50, it could be 75, it could be 85%. It is above. Folks, have a good day. That's our time, Marilyn, Pamela, Sandra, Gwyneth, Pretty Milicia. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. We indulge you to partner with us. Help us to keep going. We need your support, brothers and sisters, in this program so that we can continue to bring you guys the valid and credible information. That's our time, folks. And that's our program. Stay safe.